Jealousy is a disease, and The View needs to get well soon.
I do think that she is more relatable to more people because she's white, because she's attractive. And unfortunately, there still is that stigma against the LGBTQ plus community.
Women's basketball star Caitlin Clark has received repeated cheap shots from the media and competitors on the court. It's getting ugly.
And Clark.
I'm no basketball expert, but body-checking Clark to the ground and seemingly calling her a B-word is just antagonistic. There are fouls and there's hate. Fans have described Chicago Sky guard Kennedy Carter's conduct as aggressive.
Which was called. The question is, will they call it?
Her teammate Angel Reese seemed happy that Clark got hurt. Later, she also elbowed Clark and said something nasty to her during a play. First, the league called it only a common foul, so Clark asked for a review. The league then upgraded Carter's foul to a flagrant 1 violation defined as unnecessary contact committed by a player against an opponent. You can feel the animosity towards Clark. Some have called her treatment basically bigotry. They've pointed out that some players in the league, which is over 28% LGBT and predominantly African American, might have a problem with Clark for being white and straight. But it might be as simple as these veterans resent that a rookie is getting all the fame and credit. They're mad that she was the one to make the sport blow up.
I'm a star!
Carter was completely unapologetic when she was asked to justify what she did.
I don't have any regrets with anything. I'm going to compete and play 100% hard no matter who it is, like I said, or who we're playing. No, I don't have any regrets.
Contrast this with Clark's response.
It is what it is. I feel like I'm just at the point where you accept it and don't retaliate.
Despite the hits that she's taken, Clark isn't vindictive, and she's actually humble about the fact that, in some ways, she's still a little fish in a big pond. The WNBA fined Reese $1,000 for refusing to do a post-game interview and fined her team $5,000 for failing to ensure that all players comply with league media policies. Zoom out for a second. Now on the Indiana Fever, Clark is introducing little girls to women's basketball. They can't wait to get her autograph. She is a hardworking role model for them to aspire to. This is a watershed moment for women's sports. And yet, for The View and the left, this is not a girl power, yas queen, women breaking the glass ceiling moment. Clark's critics are calling her overrated and can't stand the attention she's getting. They're tearing Clark down, literally. Besides three-point shooting, what does she bring to the table, man? Carter said on the Threads app. How about publicity and money to your severely overlooked poor sport? Since Clark joined the Indiana Fever, attendance for the first 5 home games of the season has been over 82,000 people. More than their entire season last year. The NCAA championship between Clark's old school Iowa and South Carolina this past spring had a record audience of 18.7 million viewers. It was the second most watched non-Olympic women's sporting event ever on US TV. It was only behind the 2015 Women's World Cup finals. That's the Caitlin Clark effect. Sportscaster and former NBA player Charles Barkley got heat for telling WNBA players to be grateful that Clark has elevated women's basketball. He's right.
Y'all petty, girls. I expect men to be petty because we're the most insecure group in the world.
Oh, you are.
Y'all should be thanking that girl for getting y'all ass private charters, all the money and visibility she bringing to the WNBA. Don't be petty like dudes.
And the fandom isn't random either. Clark is a superstar. Her success is because of sheer talent. She set the record for the most points in an NCAA tournament, and yes, being a celebrity athlete with a massive fan base, Clark has made a fortune off brand deals, endorsements, and sponsorships. She signed a $28 million product line deal with Nike to include an Air Jordan-style signature shoe. Months ago, Clark's low salary from the WNBA was a controversy. People were mad at the disparity between her not even 6-figure contract and men's pay in the NBA. But it wasn't a gender wage gap scandal, despite what angry feminists argued. It was more likely a function of revenues and profits. The WNBA has never turned a profit and loses millions of dollars a year. It reminded me of a Bill Burr bit.
Look at the WNBA. They've been playing in front of 300 to 400 people a night for a quarter of a century. Not to mention, it's a male-subsidized league. We gave you a f***ing league. Where are all the feminists?
In 2023, the NBA Finals had an average viewership of 11.6 million compared to the 728,000 viewers for the WNBA Finals. The NBA has had to subsidize the WNBA to keep it afloat. recent decades just haven't brought much demand for women's basketball. Until Caitlin Clark.
Caitlin Clark is the most impactful player that the game has seen in a generation. What she has done, single-handedly putting the women's game, particularly through the platform of Iowa, has put us on the map in ways that we have never seen.
Of course, there are other talented female players on the scene. Angel Reese, for instance, is one of many in this rookie class that has been followed and celebrated. But her contempt for Clark shows that she is a sore loser who refuses to give credit where it's due. Basketball legend Austin Rivers had this to say.
And now this woman comes along and brings the world in and is now giving y'all that proper attention and respect. And you guys are getting these brand deals and getting this money. And instead of being appreciative and acknowledging that, you guys are like coming at her with these like hate-ass comments talking about, oh, well, you know, it's not just because of her, blah, 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 blah. Last night our game was sold out and she didn't play. Last night we flew charter and she wasn't on that flight. Let's stop it.
There are incredible athletes, and there are athletes that bring a sport to another level, like Tiger Woods. Clay Travis noted that other golfers like Phil Mickelson started making a lot more money after Woods entered the PGA Tour. While there are many women who've built the foundation of women's basketball, Clark is a rising tide that is lifting all boats. In her case, it's not white privilege or pretty privilege or straight privilege or tall privilege. It's gift and talent that actually are what her privilege is. And if you want to know why Jerry Seinfeld thinks that privilege is a good thing and how he's standing up to the left, you should watch this video next.